questions. Because last time you were in a battle, you had said you want to get to the World Championships. How much does it mean to you to get to the World Championships?
This feels like everything I've been working towards. Like it's all just fallen together, and this is like the pinnacle of like what I've been working towards. And I feel like ever since I started powerlifting, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And now we're here. So, like 3 weight classes later, we're here.
I know people think the journey is like just I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
And how long you been powerlifting? You were saying.
I think so. I've been lifting for like 9 years, and I did my first competition in 2018. So.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, it's not as quick as people think.
No. It's a journey, and it's a climb, and honestly, I'm kind of glad that like I've been climbing all these years, because like the climb is the best part in my opinion, you know? Like once you get there, it's like, okay, what's next, you know? But
that literally is the case. Usually, and it's weird, people tell you that when you finally like move into the house that you want to move into, eventually that freaking house just becomes home, and then it becomes old hat eventually. Doesn't matter how freaking nice the house is. But getting that house when you first start moving in, and picturing it all, the climb. It's the anticipation of 8 years, 3 weight classes, and in an era where everybody's cutting weight, you're moving up in weight. So let's back it up a little bit. When you first started, did you envision moving up weight classes? Did you envision, how quickly did you think initially you were going to end up going to the World Championships?
When I first started as a 57, I had like a very narrow viewpoint of like, okay, I need to cut weight, and it was like hard to envision myself being that much stronger, like gaining weight, you know? But I think you just learn, and with experience and also with like guidance from my coaches, like we just noticed that every time I gained weight, went up, like gained weight, competed, like my dots would also go up, which I think is like unusual. Like normally, if you're heavier, you're gonna have like lower dots, but mine just like kept going up. And so that's like every time I go up weight class and I have a good performance, I'm like, it's a sign that I'm going in the right direction.
Like you become, despite the fact that you moved up a weight class, you become pound for pound a better lifter.
Right, yeah.
Which probably, it would seem counterintuitive. Everyone expects if I take my 69 kilo total and bring it down to 63, how competitive would that be? Well, you won't be. You'll lose your kilos.
Right.
But people don't sometimes factor in.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big advocate. Just go up a weight class.
Right.
Just get big.
Right. Get big and strong.
Yeah.
Well, same session. That's what Taylor Atwood did.
Right.
And some people, and Joe Bornstein, he was a 75, moved up to 93. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Imagine he kept killing himself to try to make that weight.
Yeah. I'm glad that they didn't.
Right. 100%.
It's way more fun to watch too. So.
I mean, it depends. I mean, I guess it depends. Like you're going to the World Championships. It's funny. Totally the opposite route of like Agatha.
Yeah.
For instance, but she's doing a little bit of everything, isn't she?
Yeah. She's just like in her own little world, you know?
Right.
Just murdering everybody.
Fair enough. So coming into this national championships, a couple of people were talking about, and Pete Spence, who's putting this on, is like, he did a Q&A, and someone asked him, what is one of the meets or the battles that you're most eager to see? And he's like, for me, it's got to be the 69s. And we did a preview show, and we were talking about, in terms of the battles, and we focused on just the battles in particular this year, because we had some Sheffield people that wouldn't be at these nationals, but would be going to the World Championships due to the totals they put up, etc. So we made a conscious decision, let's focus on the battles. And in that discussion, I don't know if there's a single battle all nationals that was this tight where it's like flip a coin. The 3 you ladies were literally, I think your PR totals were around 2.5 kilos apart. It was crazy tight. How did prep go coming into this? You were smashing some weights, but what was your confidence levels? Because they also were, it's like the perfect storm.
Yeah.
All three of you guys were hitting PRs in prep.
Yeah. I kind of had a feeling I would win this one because prep was going really well, and I've competed against Jackie and Gabby before and won, so that also gave me confidence, you know. And then the fact that I was gaining into the class and then they had to cut, you know, I think that also gave me an advantage, a big advantage. So yeah, I had a feeling this was the ones.
When you showed up and everybody's talking about the 69 kilo class, did you feel pressure? Did you feel like at the very least you were battle tested? You've been around here before.
Yeah.
But how did you feel in terms of the pressure?
I feel like I'm kind of used to the pressure at this point. I've been around the block, I guess. So yeah, it doesn't really affect me, I guess, anymore. I feel like every single time I'm in a battle, I never get out of it easy. So yeah, so I'm used to it, I guess.
You're definitely battle tested. Did you have to cut any weight at all?
I was sitting around 70 kilos, so yeah, I cut a kilo. And then I actually got up to 72, in the off season, I guess, and then lost a little bit of weight, and then just did a water cut, gut cut.
When you showed up and you're in the warm up room, I was asking Joey B, because your session in particular, it's not just you. You had the 63s, obviously Megan Scanlon, Angelina Martinez. You had the 83s, which had Taylor Atwood, Delaney, Joey B. The crowd was packed out there. The battles between 83s and 69s was heavily hyped. And then obviously for the 63s, Megan Scanlon said, no, I'm going to show up and compete, which is oh.
Yeah, that was wild.
It's the wildest.
Yeah.
So when you're back there in the warm-up room, look, I've been to every world championship since 2016. I'm walking around that freaking warm-up room and it felt like a world championship was on the line, or several.
Yeah.
What did it feel like for you?
It felt I guess it kind of felt like USAPL when I first started, you know, everyone is here now, and so it felt kind of nostalgic to have everyone in the room. But yeah, it was honestly an honor to lift with all these amazing lifters. Yeah, it was an honor.
And did it make you, because when I'm walking through there, as a commentator, I felt energy. It was oh my God, oh my God. I sat down in the booth and was geeking out because I'm still a fan.
Right.
I'm literally just calling what I'm seeing as a fan. But how energetic and what are you feeling if you're holy shit, I'm about to enter into this battle? And everybody's back there.
Yeah. Well, I think you kind of have to focus on yourself, you know, on meet days. So I was trying to block out the noise, and I'm the type of lifter that just sits there and listens to music and tries to not get too overwhelmed with what's going on. So yeah, but there were a bunch of legends in that room.
Yeah.
So it was wild.
Are you fist bumping people and saying hello, or are you totally lock in and just mind your business?
I mean, I still say hi to all the people that that I know, but I try to just mind my business, and yeah.
Are you seeing the competitors you're facing off with, Gabby and Jackie? And when you see them, is it is it far more real? Is it okay, here we go?
Yeah. Yeah. But there's definitely some tension, I guess, but they're both really great competitors and nice people, so yeah. And
It's competitive tension.
Yeah, Jackie's an engineer too, so.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Who's handling you that day?
Arian and
Oh, that's right.
my husband.
Yeah. You guys have because Taylor's there as well.
Yeah.
And you're like team strength guys. Hey, you guys did good on that session as team strength guys, huh?
Yeah. I wish I could have seen Taylor get the win, but
So let's unravel the day.
yeah.
So squats start. How were you feeling in the warm-ups? And walk me through your first, second, and third, and then we'll talk about the other ladies.
So squats have like become my bread and butter, I guess. I knew that I would need to like have the heaviest squat to have a chance in the battle, and so that was a lot of pressure. I kind of just wanted them to be over with, and then I knew I would feel a lot better, you know. But yeah, they felt really strong on the day, and I think I had more left in the tank after my third. So I can't complain, you know, American record. I'll take it.
Was it the numbers that you wanted?
I mean, the goal was like 215, and we went with 214. So
Okay.
yeah, not far off.
Right. And are you paying attention to the other ladies as they're squatting as well?
Yeah, I like to be involved and watch the battle. I like to like know what's going on the whole time and get updates. So, yeah.
Are you giving feedback on your attempts as well?
Yeah.
And what were you thinking when you saw, was it Gabby who missed her third?
Yeah, it was Gabby.
And what were you thinking there?
Well, I mean, I was thinking like that's my opportunity right there, you know.
It's tough because in a battle this tight, and this is kind of foreshadowing, we'll get into bench press in a second, but in a battle this tight, and I was singing a commentary, someone might miss. And then if you're the person who misses first, you start getting in your own head like, oh my God, what does this mean? This is a tight battle. Am I now behind? Can I not catch up? But in all likelihood, somebody else is going to miss. And then, you know, we'll talk about that in a second. So you got to stay poised and be like, no, hang in there. It doesn't matter. As it were, all three of you ladies missed something. But when you're the first to miss, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They're not going to miss. Am I cooked? What is happening right now? So when Gabby missed, obviously that's good on your end. You go 3 for 3. She's 2 for 3. But are you telling yourself this battle is not over? Or what are you telling yourself? Is your foot still on the gas?
I mean, I knew that if I got that third squat, that it would be very hard for them to catch up. So, I mean, my foot was on the gas the whole time, but yeah, after Gabby missed her third, that's when I was like, okay, it's possible.
So your confidence level shot up after squats going 3 for 3.
Yeah, for sure. And we were trying to decide like what to put for my second attempt. To like push Jackie and Gabby a little bit because Jason wanted me to go like 205 on my second, but I was like, I feel like if I go 208, it'll make things a little more interesting, you know, because then they'll have to try to chip that. And I had seen like some of their squats in training, and I was like, I feel like 208 is gonna like be a little bit too much for them to like, you know, try to overtake. So I was like, let's go for a bigger second to try to push them a little bit.
And that's where a bit of a gamesmanship is.
Mm-hmm.
If you go too big on your second, you don't have a lot of wiggle room on your third, and that's when you could possibly overreach.
Yeah.
Which, do you think maybe that's what happened, or?
Possibly. I mean, if I had gone like 205 on my second, then maybe she would have gone 208 and gotten it. So yeah, I think it was the right decision. I mean, it accomplished what I was trying to accomplish. So.
Right. So after squats, you're in a great position, and you're paying attention to the ladies. Are you paying attention to the men at the same time as well? Because you'd be warming up, but.
Yeah, I was actually like watching the live stream on my phone.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, because I wanted to watch the 83s, and I was like, man, I wish I wasn't competing right now because I want to watch. So.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like keeping up with it in the back. Yeah.
Well, like, if nothing else, it's a distraction, but it'd be really bizarre because you'll watch all of them warm up, and then you can watch them on the live stream out there perform as well.
Well, I couldn't see the warm-ups because I was like lifting.
Okay, that's right.
But yeah, I was like, I cannot miss, you know,
It's okay.
this.
So you're obviously rooting for Taylor.
Yeah.
It was,
But it's good to see Joe win. I mean, I feel like we both won SPD Raleigh, and then
That's
we came
right.
here and won. So it's like,
that was a replica of SPD Raleigh. I
Yeah,
totally forgot
yeah.
about that.
so.
Wow. No
So
kidding.
that was pretty cool to watch. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
When you guys both go to the Worlds, you're like, we've had good luck. We've had a good run, haven't we, kid?
We have, yeah.
Now, he doesn't have I got the shit go waiting for him, but that's a whole
I
other
know.
couple. We'll talk about that in a minute.
He is, but I.
Yeah, exactly. When you were back there, before we get into bench press, because we'll walk through this, but I asked Joey B actually, because everyone's a little bit different, and Joey B said he's kind of like jovial and talkative and full of energy and bouncing around, and he's like that. Period. He's like a big kid.
He is,
I love his energy. On this, whatever. And then he was kind of like that with everyone else, and then he got to Taylor. And then he realized, like, Taylor was locked in.
Yeah.
Like, locked in. And I went back into the warm-up room, like, I love the different, you have, like, engineers like yourself. You have, like, all different backgrounds. Everyone's different personalities. And I love seeing how different people are. And I go and I give, like, a quick little bump. If someone's makes eye contact, but sometimes they're locked in, I can tell, like, they're in the zone, don't bother. Did I fist bump you?
Maybe.
I think I did. We'll say.
There's a lot going on. I don't know.
We'll say I give you the pep talk that made you win. But when I got to Taylor, I could tell it was different.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
was different. Did you notice that as well? Or?
I did. I mean, I was like warming up on the same platform as him, and yeah, the energy was insane.
No, I can't imagine being on the same platform as him.
Yeah.
When he's
it
like
was
that.
wild.
Does it make you? Because Joey said, Joe Bornstein was like, so when I got to Taylor, he's like, holy shit, he's locked in,
Yeah.
and he said it actually made him tighten up a little too. And all of a sudden he's like, I got tighter. It was like, okay, he's coming.
Yeah.
I need to step up. Like this is no, and he tightened up.
Yeah.
You sharing up, like you're laid back, but you take things seriously. You're not messing around out there. Sharing a platform with Taylor, and you guys are both the strength guys, same team.
Yeah.
Did it make you change a little bit back there as well, feeling that?
I think his energy definitely rubbed off on me. And his dad was back there with him, and he's
Legendary.
really intense too.
He's legendary.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
really cool, and yeah, it was a really cool experience.
Yeah.
To be, warming up with Taylor Atwood and his comeback era. It's amazing.
Is it even though it's a sport with like a single person sport, an individual sport, did it feel team like with you guys having the same coaching staff, you're both TSG and you're sharing the same platform? Did it
I
kind of
think
feel
it does.
really?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of a team aspect there, and I mean I always wanted to be like a part of a coaching team that was like that, you know. So TSG definitely has that.
Yeah. So going into bench press,
Yes.
your bench press in prep was phenomenal.
Thank you.
You were hitting some huge numbers. First off, why do you think your bench press has gone up so much in prep?
Dumbbell bench press, probably.
Really?
Yeah, the accessories, honestly. Like, I started, like, really pushing my accessories, and I think that makes a big difference. And I bench 4 days a week, so, and also just being, like, healthy, I think, because I've had, like, shoulder issues in the past, and then along with going up weight class, obviously. But, yeah.
Because you've had phenomenal. You know what? Penna does a lot of freaking dumbbell presses, and other people, because he's always posting it.
Yeah, he
most
is.
people just right. He actually gets a lot of views on dumbbell presses. Weirdly enough, it is impressive. It is true. But a lot of people don't post their accessories,
Right.
and when something moves for like somebody's bench press, and I'm like, what's going on here? And you get into like how often you bench, etc. Like 4 days a week, which is a lot. But people don't post their accessories very often.
No.
And that's where sometimes the devil is in the details, where it's like, you are not doing enough of this.
Right.
And is it other things as well as the pressing, or like the dumbbell pressing, or?
That's the one I really pushed. So, but yeah, I've got a couple other accessories. But, yeah, mainly the dumbbell bench press, probably.
Did you change your form at all?
No, no,
Okay.
had the same form for 2 years.
That's where, like Russell Laurie, he had a massive bump from Worlds to Sheffield, and he changed his form.
Oh,
Like,
really?
like a 10-year veteran, changed that way bench press.
Maybe I should.
Wow.
No, I don't know.
You did well.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's start into the bench press. Walk me through your opener, how that felt, the second, and then ultimately the third.
So I knew bench was going to be really strong, and it felt good on the day. But I was having issues with the Alico rack because I normally train on like a TSS rack. And I couldn't, so like the safeties are closer together. So like I couldn't put my feet where I normally put my feet, you know? Like I had to like bring my feet in closer and then, or else they'd like run into the safeties. So I had to like adjust that. And then I normally set up differently, but I guess you can't like walk around. Like I set up from the back of the bench.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, sorry, continue on that, because that was very interesting that it happened.
Yeah. I didn't know that that was a rule, that you couldn't like walk around to the back of the bench and then set up, but I guess they just like added the rule, or maybe I don't know. I wasn't aware of it. So neither was Jason. So
I can't remember ever anyone getting cautioned by it, so maybe it was new or maybe
Yeah.
had to be. But did that throw you off at all? Because when viewership wise, I'm like, I was saying, because I've done my scouting, Celine's bench press has been going off in prep. And then when something like that happens, initially like, oh my gosh, if you have to change your setup
right.
on the fly in between first and second even, what were you thinking? Were you like, holy shit, this isn't good? Or
Initially I was freaking out, but I just entered from the front and basically did the exact same thing I normally do, and it worked out okay. But I was also having issue where like my feet were slipping. I don't know what the deal was with that, and I don't know. So yeah, so I think all of those things contributed to me not getting my third. But I think the strength is there, you know, but it was just a weird attempt.
you hit 130 before, so
Yeah.
the strength is there.
Yeah.
When I was doing the commentary, I had mentioned it appeared as though it was a stitch of a long press command. I even said I rarely do, but I was like, whoa, that was a long press. And this happens. It's sports. But what did it feel like for you? Did it feel longer for you, or?
It did feel long. And like I was telling you earlier, like, I'm not gonna point fingers, but my husband's dad, like, started yelling before the press command. And so I couldn't even hear, like, I could barely hear her say press. And I think it also threw her off, which made me get, like, a longer pause. And so I'm not saying it was his fault, but
But what were you doing?
no.
Okay, no.
No, but he actually went out and like yelled it after that.
It's
And I felt bad. I was like, no. But no.
I've actually seen two platforms being run, two bench sessions at the same time. Usually doesn't always line up that it ends up
Yeah.
bench press. And the ref here said press, and the person over here on the other platform pressed. And then this ref called them for jumping the command, and that lady's like, swear to God, somebody said press, and the other ref's like, fuck. Like, that was me.
Yeah.
Like an official actually said press. I can't remember this years ago. I think they gave it to her. But
Wow.
the crazy can happen.
Yeah.
It is
yeah.
what it is.
Things happen.
Right. So you leave the bench press. Now you missed one. You and Gabby both have missed one. Did Jackie actually miss one of her benches, came back, hit it on her third. So everybody's missed a lift at this point.
Yeah.
How were you feeling at this particular time? Because I think you missed, how many kilos did you lose off that last?
It was only 2.5.
Not bad.
So, yeah. not too much damage.
Are you telling yourself, I'm all right, I'm in pole position, or are you 50-50 with it? How are you feeling?
So I let myself be mad for like, I don't know, like 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then I was like, all right, we got a deadlift now. So yeah, at the end of the day, like I only missed out on 2.5 kilos. So I was like, you know, I don't think it's going to break me at this point. So I wasn't too mad about it. And that was like a 5 kilo platform PR anyway. So yeah, so it was okay.
Now, you going into Deads, you had a run of how many competitions without ever missing a single lift?
I think it was 6. Yeah,
It was something crazy.
6.
Where you never missed a single lift.
Yes.
So you're very consistent. But you had missed a lift previous to this. Do you think missing a lift and coming back helps so that by the time it happened here in this battle, this wasn't like a run of, oh my gosh, I haven't missed in forever. You actually, at one point during that 6 meet, people started referring to it like, hey, have you noticed that Celine hasn't missed a freaking lift in 6 meets? And it became like a talking point on podcasts.
Right.
And you actually mentioned at one point, like, hey, like feeling a little pressure. Like everyone refers to me. Do you think that not being a narrative coming into this helps missing, bouncing back? No biggie. We keep it moving.
Yeah. I having a streak, I think, adds pressure. So, yeah. So I prefer not to think about it that much. And you know, if I miss a lift, it is what it is. You know, it's not that big of a deal to me. But yeah.
This where like a streak makes it hard to be like that.
But
It's where like a streak makes
Yeah.
it hard to be like that. Where you want to do that. As a lifter, you have to just leave it behind you and move forward.
Right.
But if there's a streak attached, you know everyone's like, oh.
yeah.
You're like, okay, relax. Okay, I missed one. It's 2.5 kilos.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah. I really didn't think it was that big of a deal. So, yeah.
At one point, we'll get into deadlifts, but I remember Kaiko had not missed a lift at nationals or worlds even. And at one point, I started dubbing him Mr. Perfect. I'm the commentator in a podcast. So you imagine the pressure I put on that poor
Right.
guy. But it's a storyline. Like sports, we love streaks, like a home run streak or a no pitch streak, or we love streaks. So it's like, how do I not play into this? Like, this is Mr. Perfect here. He never misses. And he, same thing. He's like, hey man, take it easy. Take it easy. I'm gonna miss at some point.
Right. It's a really hard thing to do, like never missing a lift. You know, like yeah, especially like at Worlds or Nationals, like that's wild. Cause like not only strength wise, but also like technically, you know, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So yeah, it's hard to do. So it's something to be proud of for sure. But yeah, the streak and the nicknames, that adds pressure.
It's and the reason because they're so hard to do is why people tune like. If you're a local level lifter, God bless. But if you're a local level lifter and you go like 6 meets without missing a meet, without missing an attempt, it's like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Try that at the level you have to compete at nationals. And your nationals is against like world champions like Megan Scanlon. It's against like Gabby, who's been the world's, like you're going against world level at the national level.
Yeah.
So for you to be going, never missing a lift was huge. And it is, it becomes a storyline. It's like, oh my gosh, what do we have going on here? So anyways, going into deadlifts, you missed one, 2.5 kilos, no big deal. How are your deadlifts feeling?
So I knew, well, so TSG, like, we don't ever max out in training, you know? So I kind of just have to guess, like, where my strength is. So I knew that my squat had gone up, and normally when my squat goes up, my deadlift goes up. And that's pretty much how I can gauge it. So going into it, it was kind of like a big question mark for me. So on the day, I was like, okay, squat went well, which means deadlift is probably going to go well. And also, I think deadlift is probably my most like consistent lift in terms of like competition.
And he had mentioned that it actually gave him a level of confidence coming in here. There was a lot of talk about could he be the first to do 900 kilos on the platform? And he was saying the confidence level he gained from telling himself, I've done 900. It's just bringing it to him.
Right.
Like I'm capable. So he got that confidence level in it. However, in terms of peaking, everybody peaks differently. You're weighing the fact that, do you want me to give you your PR in the gym? Because you might not have a meet day if you don't peak that way. Like if you it's like almost competing twice within a month or something.
Yeah, it's hard on the body, for sure.
Right. So then it becomes, however, on the flip side, it's a little more anxious being like, I'm really working on faith here that it's there because I don't know.
Yeah. So I'll say like, it settles the mind to know that you've done it before, you know? Like it's a mind game. Cause like, you don't really need to prove to yourself that you can do it to do it, you know? Like it's a mind game. So it's stressful. Like if in an ideal world, I'd prefer probably to like max out training, you know, make sure I can do it and then go out on the platform and do it. But that comes with like more injury risk, and you know, if you're injured, you're just out. So it's just not worth it.
And on top of that, even if you don't get injured, if you tax your nervous system by doing that big single, it will affect your training. And the way TSG works, they're like, listen, I can let you peek around the corner and let you max, but it might affect you moving forward. Like it doesn't mean it's going to be their meet day. Like maybe it's only, some people actually do better in the gym than they do on the platform.
Right.
How much input do you have in terms of your program?
I'd say I have quite, well, I've got more now, I guess.
Really? Okay, no kidding.
Yeah, I've got a little bit, but it's mostly just they're the masterminds, and I just do what they tell me to. But yeah, if I have like an opinion on something that I think might work, they're always open to listen and adjust. So.
Do you prefer having input, or do you prefer take the weight?
Well, I think Jason is just like really amazing at what he does, so I kind of just prefer him to take the reins and just tell me what to do. I'll do it. So.
And that's what that's the coach athlete. So Russell Orhe's talked about how leading to Sheffield, kind of similar to the situation you're talking about, he just took a huge L in front of everybody at Worlds. And the Brits were dancing in the streets. Like everyone went nuts, and you probably saw the footage. People were going nuts in the stands. Just because it's a major upset, the excitement, right? It's not necessarily, yay, Russ lost, but oh my gosh, you watched, like that was unexpected. So leading into Sheffield, he actually talks about, he told Joey was making him lift sub-maximally. So where previously you would have that big squat, big deadlift, I know I have it, okay, cool. Joey said, we're not doing that this time. We're shaking things up. It'll be more sub-max. Oh, by the way, Sheffield, everybody's watching. Like, it's Sheffield. And you're going against a guy who just beat you, and everyone's dancing on your grave, and now you don't get to know exactly where you're at, and it's new. And I'm like, did you ever stop and be like, can I just see where my gauge is at? Or like, did you ask for input? Like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. You're shaking things up. Like, how anxious filled were you? And Russ was like, man, I literally just let myself succumb to the training and just let it happen. Just have faith on it. I don't question. I didn't ask for a specific, let me have this, I just said, whatever you say, I'll do it, and have complete faith on the day. And I'm like, but if you lose, it's on you. And if you lose, people are dancing again. Like, and he's like, you can't think like that.
Yeah.
It takes confidence to do that.
Yeah, I think it's just like, it's one of those things, like when you've been working with a coach long enough, like I have complete faith in them, you know, at this point. So like they've proven to me that they know what they're doing. They're the experts, and you know. So yeah, you just have to have faith.
How long have you been working with TSG?
It's been a little over 3 years now.
They got your data points.
They do, yeah.
How many weight classes is that? 7.
Well, I don't know, because, like, I was in the USAPL, and they had different weight classes,
Oh, you
and
can
so I
squeeze
don't
in
even
another
know.
weight class.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
Probably, like, 4 or 5.
That sounds crazy, but it's not. That's not
Yeah.
as crazy as it sounds, but it's actually a cool stat to throw out anyways. All right, so deadlifts rock and roll. You go 3 for 3, obviously. Walk me through your deadlifts. How are you feeling? And then at the end, of course, the dramatic conclusion, and you're in that position where you have to see whether or not you're going to win.
So my opener flew. We normally take bigger jumps on deadlift, so the opener, you know, I just know I'm gonna get it. I just have to go out there and do it. You know, it's like my last warm up almost. I do it on the platform. So my opener flew, and then my second attempt, 215. I think that was like the fastest I've ever moved 215. So, and that's the most I had done in training. So at that point, I was like, okay, I think we've got like 10 to 15 more kilos on that. And so Jason and Arian asked me, like, what do you think you have, like, for sure? You know, because, like, I'm in the situation where I have to get my third deadlift and just wait and see what happens, you know? And so I just told him, like, 10 kilos, like 225, I've got that for sure, which that's like an all-time PR. But I was like, okay, that's what I have for sure.
What did you hit in training, though?
215.
Okay. But I remember you saying in the caption, this is as strong as my deads I've ever felt, though. Although, yeah, you don't hit PRs often,
Right.
But you also said, my deadlifts has never felt stronger in
Yeah.
prep for this.
Yeah. Yeah, deadlift, like, it's just one of those things where, like, I don't get close to my max, like, more than, like, 1 or 2 times a year at this point. So it's like, you know, you just have to believe that it's going to be there. But the good thing about conventional is, like, I can grind, you know? And I think that helps. So I can always grind out, like, it feels like I can always grind out a few more kilograms. I'm like, what's a few more kilograms? Just
If
put
you-
it on there.
Like, what was your confidence level walking out there when you knew, you had to have known,
Yeah.
if you miss that, you know what happens.
Yeah.
You know you don't win.
I mean, I just said a prayer and I was like, I'm gonna do this. And I thought I would get it. So I was actually pretty confident, I would say.
And you called the crowd. You would hit the platform and be like, you asked the crowd to give it to you, and they gave it to you.
Yeah.
Does it help to have that?
I think so. I think when you walk out and, like, get the crowd going, like, I think it eases the nerves a little bit for some
Does it
reason.
really?
For me,
Yeah.
yeah. Rather than just, like, walking out and, I don't know, silence. a good, like, scream, like, helps for some reason.
Well, it also it breaks the tension. It
Yeah.
breaks the ice.
Maybe
you guys are
that's
doing it together
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
So,
Fun.
so during it, you hit your final deadlift, and what are your thoughts there? What are you thinking? How are you feeling?
I've never been in that situation before where, like, someone is pulling after me for the win, you know? So I was scared. I was like, Jason, did we put enough? Like, I don't know. Yeah, 'cause I was like,
I know I okayed it, but goddammit, you should have put 2.5 more.
Well, I was like trying to convince him to go like 227 and a half, like 5.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah. Because I was like, I don't, you know, I knew that, like, it would be close for Gabby, you know?
Yeah.
Because her second looked really strong. So I was like, there's a chance.
Her second flew.
It did,
If
yeah.
we look back, and here it is, to really lay the table. Her second flew so much in the commentary booth, we were like, holy smokes. Like,
Yeah,
there was
it
a
was wild.
lot more. Did you? And you watched that?
I did, yeah.
So you must have had feelings.
Yeah, I was like, it's totally possible that she gets this. So,
Frick. And so
Yeah.
immediately afterwards, your first thought is, 5 more. Should have been 5 more. I hope that was
pretty
enough.
much. Yeah, I was like, I could have done like 5 more, Jason.
Yeah.
But no.
So you go back there, you're second guessing, how about holy smokes?
Yeah.
And you watch Gabby walk out there. How tough was that?
It was scary. Yeah, it was wild. Like my heart was racing, and I initially like didn't want to watch, but I had to. I had to just peek over there and watch. So yeah, it was scary.
And when you found out that you were the U.S. 63 kilo national champ, your ticket was punched to go to IPF World Championships, and you found out like this was gonna happen.
Yeah,
How did you feel when that clicked in?
it was a wild feeling. I definitely teared up a little bit.
Did you?
I
Yeah.
think we all did. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome, and it was like so different than last year. Yeah, last year was really tough. So I was like back there like sobbing last year. So you probably saw me.
I did. Well, like
Yeah.
when I went back there last year, I remember seeing you and like, yeah, you were upset.
Yeah.
You were super duper upset. And here's the thing, people don't realize like you powerlifters put so much every single freaking day. You build it up in your heads. You have these ambitious goals. Like contrast that actually maybe a little bit because I'm sure some people are watching now could relate. But how did you feel last year? And then we could talk about contrasting that to this year. But
Yeah. So last year was devastating. What really got me was my husband started crying, and he never cries.
he cried last year.
Yes, like
Holy.
like we
And he
both-
never cries?
No, he never cries, and he started crying, and I was like, I can't, like that.
Oh my god.
That just made me a breakdown. Like there, yeah. So like he came and like hugged me, and then started crying, and then I started crying, and I just couldn't stop crying for like I don't know, like 8 hours. I was just crying. So, and I think Jesus actually came and like
Cried.
talked to me.
Did he cry?
No, he didn't cry. But I was literally, that was like the first time I met Jesus.
That's a bad meat.
And I was just sitting there sobbing, and he was like giving me like a motivational speech. I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
yeah,
The strongest man in the world is trying to comfort me. This is bizarre.
it was. Yeah, it was pretty funny, but it was so sweet. Like,
Yeah, that is sweet.
it was so sweet, cause like, I never know what to say to someone like who's that upset, and
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know what he said, but it made me feel better.
Really? I remember I went back to see you. We took a picture together. I hope you
Yeah,
were crying.
I think that was the next day.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But I remember I saw you and I shot you like a build-up message. It's like a natural thing, though. You see someone upset, and you're like, don't worry. You try to put some perspective on it.
Right.
But it hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there was like nothing you could say to me in that moment that would make me feel better. You know, it was like, yeah, I feel like it's almost like a stronger emotion, sadness, than happiness. You know, like the sadness that I felt was stronger than like
Is that,
the happiness that I
is
feel.
that right?
I think so. Yeah, I'd have to say that. So I don't know what that says about me, but
Well, you know what? I don't know if that's a unique thing to yourself. Now that I think
Yeah.
about it, like there's also people who say sometimes winning, at times, if you're expected to win and you win, you feel relief as opposed to joy.
yeah,
It's
I get that. I do.
and it might also be part of what we opened up with talking about it's the journey and the anticipation of, and because you're on the way up, experiencing a loss and impacts you as opposed to when you hit it and you feel like, okay, I'm here.
Yeah.
It's a little different. It's all perspective. You're still on the way when you take an L and you're like, oh, here we are.
But I think like you can like harness the feeling of defeat and like use that, like as a chip on your shoulder. So I think it drove me, to get to where I am now, for sure. So
You're right. The feeling in and of itself in the moment might be stronger, but also afterwards, it propelling you forward.
yeah,
Like, I'm not doing that again.
right. It was horrible. Like just it wasn't so much just like the losing. It was like I didn't even execute. Like I didn't feel good on the day. Nothing felt right. It was like I think it was less the fact that I lost and more the fact that like I didn't even give myself a chance really. Like I felt it was probably the weight cut that made me feel that way, but I just felt like I didn't have my legs, like nothing felt right, and it was just very frustrating. You know? So
Did it? And this was against Megan 63, right?
yeah,
And now that Meg is like she put up the biggest 63 kilo total we've ever seen, world champ, beat all the 63s of the world, and then again at Sheffield a whole nother round. Is it easier to be like, well, she's the greatest 63 of all time? You beat yourself up about it. Nobody was beating Meg.
right.
However, the move to 69 was good.
Yeah. I think I think in the long run, like this was the best thing that could happen. Like going 69. I think it's a much better weight class for me, really. So, and I mean Meg, like she's always been one of my biggest inspirations in the
It's
sport.
no kidding.
So, yeah, like, yeah. So it was great to see her like go out and dominate. Like, she's incredible. So.
And isn't it like kind of the way it is in life sometimes where you think this is it's so bad and sad, etc. And then now you can look back and be like, thank God
Yeah.
I got pushed to reevaluate. Well, why weren't my legs under me? Well, why didn't this happen? And then you could reevaluate. If you won and went to Worlds, there's none of that.
Right.
Like you're never gonna maximize any of that. Whereas now you're like, I've never been stronger.
Yeah.
I've never felt better.
I mean, I think it's something I would have realized eventually, pretty soon, whether or not that happened. So, and I mean, we had even been considering going 69 like last year, but you know, you just hindsight's 2020, you know.
Yeah.
So,
So now you won, and you're going to the IPF World Championships. Like first off, like friends, family, people in your DMs. What's going on your end? You went out and celebrated.
yes.
What? Yeah, I told you. Are you good for a podcast? She goes, might be a little hungover. I was like, you go get that, queen. You deserve it.
Yeah, we went to this like Mexican restaurant that was like a club.
Really?
We had no idea, but like we drive up and like they asked for our IDs at the door.
That's a
Like
little
they had a
peculiar.
bouncer. I was like, what is going on here? It was a
How
Mexican
spicy is that taco that you need my ID to bounce it?
restaurant. They had a DJ and they had
Wow.
like
What is this?
party
Hit
room.
this
It
up?
was a legit club within a Mexican restaurant.
Wow.
I'll have to tell you where to go.
Because I'm here another 2 nights.
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
yeah, it was fun.
I saw a video, like you were posting your stories, and it looked
Yeah.
like a restaurant in certain parts,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, it was like it had the restaurant, and then it had like I think it was called the party room. We didn't go in the party room.
Okay.
I don't know what was going on in there, but yeah, it was interesting. I've never seen anything like it. So
Damn.
Atlanta's an interesting place.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Yeah.
And what is it like when you're like, the best feeling is eating, drinking some cocktails,
Yeah.
you're with your people, and like mission accomplished.
Right.
When you're sitting with all your people looking around, like how does that feel? Knowing I'm going to World Championships.
It's like the best feeling. Like, yeah, that's just awesome. And all my family was here because I'm from South Carolina, so it's only like a 2.5-hour drive. So they all got to be here and watch and celebrate with me, and yeah, it was just so fun.
Also, what the heck is going on with North and South Carolina? Freaking day one.
That's a good question. I don't
Day
know.
one, you had 4 national champs, all of them going.
Yeah,
Yourself, freaking, I'm losing track here. It's crazy.
I know.
It's like a hotbed for powerlifting.
I guess. I mean,
It's the new Texas,
we're trying to keep up with Texas, but
right? You guys need like a battle, the Carolinas versus Texas. That's the next
That would be
SPD
fun.
one. Yes, with all the like with team points and
yeah.
everything.
Well, I guess yeah, they had like SPD Raleigh, North Carolina, and now they're going to Texas. So
Let's split the difference and make you guys battle it out.
yeah,
That'd be interesting. So the clock's winding down here. Let me get your thoughts on IPF Worlds though. We got to talk
Yeah.
about it. That's the next big step. How excited are you for it? What are some of your goals for it? Talk to me about what you're thinking.
I am really excited. Obviously, Agatha is going to be a challenge. to say the least.
You bought you so diplomatic. A challenge.
Yeah. If she goes 69, I'm pretty much going to be battling for second, third, the podium, wherever I can go. But I'm not going to count myself out, and I just want to put it all out there. I mean, I don't want to hold back, and I think I've only got 8 weeks, so we'll see what I can put together in 8 weeks. But it's a really quick turnaround, so.
But you feel fresh. You feel.
Yeah, I was having some knee issues, some tendonitis, right before this meet. So I think maybe 6 weeks out. But then I was I squatted in heels and I just switched to flats, and then the knee just stopped hurting. So yeah, so everything feels good. I think we're gonna have some really good training the next 8 weeks.
And so you're thinking the goal is podium at least.
Yeah.
The color of the medal, let the day dictate, but bring home some hardware and a souvenir.
Yes.
Do you have that'd be phenomenal. Yeah, that's the story you tell your kids. Do you have any specific numbers, round numbers you're going for at all, or?
I'd like to hit at least a 500 deadlift, that for sure. I might need to get an Alico bench to train on so I can practice on it or something. I don't know what we're gonna do about that, but yeah, and then squat. I don't know what the world record is. I think it's 225, something like that. I think Leah has it.
Is it 225? Okay, my man here, the producer's got us. There's young Jamie for us, fact checking for us.
Yeah.
225, is that in reach, do you think?
I think soon for sure.
That'd be huge.
I think we could see a 500-pound squat.
That's huge. The deadlift, huge as well, and Pearl O'Gara will be there.
I know.
I mean,
I'm so excited.
I know. You have all these legends.
Yeah.
From Meg, Agatha, Corolla Gara to Frick, man. And who are you excited to meet in terms of all that, just the experience-wise?
Probably Agatha. She's a legend. Corolla, obviously. And Leah, I've always looked up to her. I know she's taking a break right now, but hopefully she'll be there. We can meet.
She might. It's Germany. She's from France. It wouldn't be the crazy. She's got teammates that are going to be there, and it wouldn't be the craziest thing for her to be there. A lot of when Team France shows up, they come with a massive entourage. There's 25 of them. Yeah. So I would not be shocked if she's there.
I would.
It's an amazing experience. You're going to freaking love Worlds. Everybody you normally see on here on podcasts, see on the stream, everyone's there.
Yeah.
In a small town, and everyone goes out and hangs out afterwards for dinners and stuff like that, and everyone's super duper friendly. You're gonna have the freaking time of your life. I'm glad you're gonna get to experience this.
Yeah.
Who do you think, real quick, one last question, who do you think is pound for pound the best female lifter or best lifter period in the world today?
Is that even a question?
I know, it's a loaded question. That's called a loaded question. How cool is it you get to accomplish, you're gonna compete with the Michael Jordan of your time?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, kind of unfortunate, but also pretty awesome.
It's still awesome.
Yeah.
If you're a basketball player and you're winning titles and doing everything you're doing, and you're I also, by the way, went one-on-one with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It's all right, well, you beat my story, my big fish story. That's huge.
Right.
But yeah, listen, congratulations. I'll see you in Germany, and we'll link up that. I know you're going to do phenomenal, and I hope you bring back some hardware.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And everybody watching, we'll come back shortly with the GOAT himself, Taylor Atwood. We'll see you there. Thank you.
Thank you.